If you want to see me create another look using the ABH Subculture palette, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and yes, we are going to play with the Subculture palette again today. If you want to see the most recent video I did with this palette, I will put it right here. It's a similar style video. It is a look created with this palette. And I am going to play with some very different colors. The last video used these colors right here. And I am more so going to focus on Mercury and Rowdy down here, and probably with electric as well. And Dawn for the brow bone, that kind of thing. I have a work day ahead of me, so I want to make sure that I have a look that is going to be appropriate for what it is that I'm going to be doing the rest of the day. I have all of my face makeup done. If you want to see anything that is on my face right now, it is in the description box, along with everything else that I will be applying during this video. So I'm going to dive right in. Just as I did in the previous video, I'm going to be using the Anastasia brush that comes with the palette as much as possible. And one thing that I'm going to do in addition is I'm going to actually put a timer on so I can tell you exactly how long this look took to do, because one of the myths about this palette is that it is very hard to work with and you have to really put in the time and all sorts of comments like that, and I love to debunk this because I don't find this palette takes a whole lot of time, no more than any other palette in my collection. So let's do that, and I will stop talking and let's get into doing the makeup. First off, I'm going to use the fluffy side, and I'm going to go right into Mercury and just tapping in. It takes very, very little pressure into the pan to get a decent amount of product. Now, given this is a quick look, I'm going to do both eyes at the same time. With what I have left on the brush, I like to go into the inner lid, right up to the brow bone. Okay, so that is, the mattes just spread effortlessly. It's so, so nice. I'm going to use the denser side of the brush and go into Mercury again and just go down on the lower lash line. Or actually, lower lid is more accurate. I'm going to just diffuse it a little bit with the other side of the brush. I think that looks quite nice. I'm going to go in a little bit more into Mercury and deepen up the crease a little bit. Mercury does layer so nice. So, so nice. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's do that on the other side. The mattes are pretty dry, but I don't mind. I take a little bit and just build up, take a little bit and build up. I say that, I only do it about 3 times per shadow, so it's not a huge process. Again, with the denser side of the brush, in to put some on the lower lid. It's such a light color, you don't have to do a ton of blending or diffusing. It's pretty easy. So there we go, we have one color done. Now I want to go into Rowdy, and I'm going to go in with the dense side of the brush, just wiping off a little bit of Mercury here on my hand, going right into Rowdy, and I'm just tapping my one side of the brush onto Rowdy because it is a pretty deep color, and I'm tapping it again on the lid this time. And it almost looks like just a deeper cousin to Mercury. So they blend together so, so well. That is such a nice pairing for that last quad on the far end of the palette. I love it. Every time I put these two together, I love it. So, so easy. And if you find this a little bit too deep, just go in with a lighter hand. That's all you need to do with these shadows. You can pick up as little or as much as you want to get the look that you want. So there we go on one side, now on to the other to repeat the exact same thing. Went a little bit higher on this side. No, it's pretty even. Okay, and just bringing it in just a tad more. Let's just see if they are relatively even. There's a little bit more of Rowdy on the other side, so let's even that up. I'm going to add just a tiny bit right here. Okay, I'm really, really liking this. It was so, so easy. And I think I'm going to take this brush and just put Rowdy just on the lash line. Actually, I'm going to use a more detailed brush. I'm going to use this one, which is my Precise smudger from Smashbox. I'm going to go into Rowdy and just line along the lash line here. Now, going in with Axis or Untamed would also have been nice. Okay, and other side. Okay, I really like it. I'm probably going to line with the same color on the top when I'm done with the final color, which is Electric. So, well, actually second last. Electric is going to be the last one. I'm going to go in with Dawn to, I think Dawn, you know what? No, I'm going to do a different highlighter because I think Dawn is going to be too peachy for the brow bone on this look. So I will go into Electric because that's going to be the last color from this palette. And I'm going to go in with my Precise, not Precise, but my multitasker brush from Smashbox. I'm going to go right into Electric. When I'm using a brush like this, I like to go into the corner of the pan because what other brush can you go into the corner of the pan with? And I'm going to go right into the corner where my finger cannot reach. And I'm going to do the other side because that way I only need to pick up that brush once. Okay, now I'm going to move to my ring finger, pick up Electric, and pat some more of that color onto the inner to center lid. And other side. Now you can definitely substitute Adorn for Electric and Cube. So you can do a few different modifications or alternatives, or of course any of the other mattes, but if you want a pop of shimmer, it certainly looks good to use one of those three. Now, do I have them relatively even? I think I want to go a little bit further out with this one. Just checking to see if I have the same intensity. That will make the difference right there. Yeah, they look pretty even. So I'm going to wipe off the slight fallout that I have. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into Rowdy and do the liner on the upper lash line that I said I would. So let's do that. In the tough spots, I find it's helpful to wiggle the brush side to side. It seems to just get the product to go onto the lash line. And this spot right here is where I have trouble. There we go. I think that looks pretty darn good. So I'm going to do the wipe off and everything, but want to let you know, under 12 minutes. I think that's pretty good. So let me do the wiping off of the fallout and I'll be back to do the finishing touches on this look. Okay, I am back. Before I talk about anything that I've done on my face, I just want to do the brow bone because I said I would. And I'm going to use one of these colors, which is a good brow bone color from the Artiste #1, Artiste Shadows #1 from Makeup Forever. This was a palette that was out, I think, 3 years ago, something like that. At least 2 anyway. And I think I'm going to go, I'm just looking at the look right now and picking the right color. I'm going to go for the one in the middle here. That is the I-514 from Makeup Forever. And I'm using a Smashbox, what is it called? Contour Shadow Brush is what I'm using. And just going to go onto the brow bone. That looks quite nice. Another side. The one thing I said I would do and I just forgot and got off camera. I don't really want to do an inner corner highlight because I think the electric color is good enough, and well, it's not good enough, it's very pretty on its own, and that will complete the look. I just want to show you what it is that I used as far as other products off camera. So as I normally do, I reapplied my Urban Decay Zero, which is what I use on my upper waterline. So I had some at the beginning of the video and I just reapplied it. You saw me put liner on using Rowdy on my upper and lower lashes, so you know what that, or lash line, so you know what that is. I used 2 mascaras, as I have been using these for a bit now. The High Impact Mascara on my lower lashes and the Sumptuous Extreme Mascara from Estee Lauder. I'll show you the 2 wands. This one on my upper lashes, Sumptuous Extreme Estee Lauder, as I said, and then the Clinique High Impact has a bit of a different wand, but it's not high impact in my opinion. That's why I'm using them. I'm using this brush on my lower lashes because it doesn't add too much on. And at the beginning of the video, I had this lipstick on, which is the Makeup Forever C211, and I found it just a little bit too pink for what I was wearing today as a look. And so I switched it to a new rediscovery, I'll say. And it's the Sex on the Peach from Too Faced. It's a bit more toward the peachy brown. And I think that that looks better with this look. So that's what I opted for as far as lipstick. And finally, I topped everything off with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. Everything else, as I said, is in the description box. So if memory serves, I finished at around 11 minutes 55 or something. So it's with the brow bone highlight, it's just over 12 minutes. And what I invite you to consider is any YouTuber will tell you that doing makeup in front of a camera takes longer than if you're just doing it on your own. Not sure what that sound effect was, but when you're doing things on your own, it's a lot faster because you're not describing, you're not explaining what it is that you're doing or your next steps. So 12 minutes to me is kind of on the high side for this look, and I hope that you are satisfied with this look as another quick one. So now there are 3 looks on this channel that are 12-ish minutes or less. The other 2 were, one of them was 6 minutes something, and the other one was definitely around 4 at most, because it was covering up the other look to go from day to night. I'll just sum it up. I think that this is an easy palette to use. I think the looks are really, really pretty, and if you have any colors that you'd like me to use, I know that there is one request for some specific colors, more so toward the end of this palette, but using these for sure. That is another request. But if there are some that you are having trouble tackling or want some ideas for, I would be happy to do a few more looks with this palette, especially if a number of us have this palette in our collection and kind of skip over it because it's been said over and over and over that it's hard to use, or more time consuming to use, or whatever the description is in that kind of family of comments. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the look. Please leave me a comment. I love reading all of those and responding, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.